it really, the strategy really depends on, where in the journey every company is. So for example, if someone is obviously in the start of their journey, I would definitely suggest them to ask the key questions around sort of, what is the time to deployment, for example, or how fast can you react to business needs and get something out of the door for your customers to use. But if someone is later down the journey as well, the key question is, are you measuring the improvements that you want to see in the business? For example, as I mentioned, like how many teams do you have, for example, and these measurements become very important, because then you can make data-driven decisions. Because without that, you'll sort of be guessing on what is necessary, what might not be necessary. So one example that we have done, because we've sort of further down the journey with DevOps, is bringing security into the picture. So we are focusing more on, let's say, for example, DevSecOps, because security shouldn't be an afterthought. So security should be, how do we shift left with security? So that's been a focus of this year as we've achieved some of our other goals in the past year. But the strategy really depends on, do the measurements for your business size, for the product, for the domain that you are in, and make those decisions. Yeah, it's a great question, actually. I mean, there's so much. I can do an entire talk about this, about how to build sort of, high performing engineering teams. But the key things to look at is obviously, what domain you're playing in. So are you investing enough in sort of engineering tools and developer experience as well to attract the right talent? So definitely focusing on that. That's a starting point, I would say. But then next, obviously looking at creating an environment where your engineers can thrive, or where your people can thrive. And that includes, what sort of, let's say, learning and development opportunities do they have? What sort of environment are they working in? How is the stress levels? What is the pressure? All of these really contributes to sort of building that high performing team, because at the end of the day, as a leaders, right, you are hiring the right, you have to look at hiring the right people, and they will do the rest of the job. But your job as a leader is to creating that environment where they can thrive. So definitely focusing on those things are absolutely very essential. And the third thing is obviously hiring, right? Like, how do you create your company brand, and what you're doing within your organization in a wider market to be able to attract the right talent and the right people. And once you have those right people, how do you nurture them? So a combination of these things is very important. But on the other side too, there's processes, right? So you don't want to create an environment where it's so hard to make a change or be innovative or be creative. So focusing on those processes, again, that all comes back to creating that environment too. But it's very important to focus on the process, the tools, and what sort of benefits that you have for your people. Yeah, great question. So when I joined OFX, the company that I'm working on at the moment, I joined during pandemic. So it was in the middle of the pandemic, and we had a massive task of almost doubling our size, our technology size. So it was a great challenge at the time when the market was getting very competitive. So I think that the few things that we introduced is really focusing on doubling down on, as I said, our brand. So what does it mean to join OFX technology, for engineers? How do we promote that? How do we look at things that matter to our engineers? Like, what is our developer experience? Do we have enough tools and processes in place to enhance that? So really building that employee proposition is something that we focused on. And as I said, that's multifaceted. Yeah, that's a great question. I'm actually lots and lots of things. I've obviously seen the agenda, and I'm speaking myself. So definitely looking forward to, sharing some of my thoughts and learnings along the way. And also, talking to people about some stories where I've tripped up in the past, or my teams have tripped up and actually have to go and change it later. So hopefully by sharing these stories, the next company or the next person who's going on this journey makes it a little bit more easier for them. But apart from that, it's just meeting, just other leaders in the organization and just learning from them, understanding how have they dealt with this, and what did they do, and what worked for them, what didn't work for them, and hopefully that enriches my knowledge and I can take that back and improve my team. So yeah, really looking forward to that. It sounds such a great summit, especially in person, because I haven't been to one of these things, and I'm really looking forward to being away from Zoom for a while.